What is going on, people of YouTube? My name happens to be Kurtyoy, and today I've got finally 38th preview of the season and the last preview of the season. And it's a sad moment, but we move on. It's the end of the season. I've managed to pull through. I mean, I was very poor at the start, but as you can see on my screen, I'm doing all right. I've got quite a few good players in there, quite a few good picks this week, because the risks to bring Hazard in and just proved that my luck is in. It's just a shame it came in too late in the season. But I've had a good run, and especially the players I've given to you in recent previews and reviews to select have usually gone on to do incredibly well on average. So, amazing season. I will be taking part in Euro 2016 Fantasy Leagues on fanager.com. I won't be making any videos on it though, just for the reason I'm getting a bit burnt out on it. I don't want to overburn myself, so come the start of the season, the new upgraded content, I suppose you could say, will not be happening. But we need to get straight into this. We're going to start off with the goalkeepers as usual. And first up, we've got the Arsenal keeper, Petr Cech. Now, the reason for him being in here is simple. He comes in, home game against Aston Villa. Need I say more? No. Aston Villa pants and Cech is pretty good. Moving on from there, we're going to have a goalkeeper by the name of David De Gea, who's made his rise quite high into the goalkeeper rankings. In fact, he's fourth, 140 points from this season, considering he missed the first 4 games. It's not a bad total. If he'd have played those 4, who knows, he could have been the top goal-scoring goalkeeper in the league. But he has a game at home to Bournemouth, and again, it should be an easy clean sheet, a few goals in for United, and David De Gea will easily pick up his 6 points for that. And lastly, we have a West Ham goalkeeper by the name of Adrian, but it could also be Randolph. You need to keep an eye on this one. West Ham have Stoke, and I feel like that's a good chance for them to get a clean sheet. But Adrian is probably not going to play, so if Adrian does not play, then maybe 4.4 million in Darren Randolph is definitely worth a risk if you're looking for a budget keeper to spend it elsewhere for a big last game week of the season. Moving on from that, we have the defenders, and again, we started off with an Arsenal goalkeeper. We're moving on to an Arsenal defender, and his name is Hector Bellerin. In fact, looking at it, probably one of the most high scoring, if not, well, almost the most high scoring player of this season. 6.5 million. He started off pretty cheap at 5.5. He's made his rise. He had a fantastic season. Home game against Villa. He can also attack pretty well. He's one of the best in the league for attacking, so it's definitely worth a punt. Next up, we've got Liverpool fullback. Again, another Spanish fullback, probably on the fringes of the international team. Alberto Moreno. He had a fantastic double game week with a nice 3 points against Chelsea and also picking up 6 points against Watford. But I'm looking at his game. It's away against West Brom. And for me, that could be a clean sheet, and if not, he could get forward as well, or he could do both, so it could be an incredibly high-scoring game week for him. And lastly, another fullback to end off the previews, and it's Patrick Van Aanholt. I did suggest for the double game week, and he picked himself up 17 points from Chelsea and Everton, respectively. 4 from Chelsea and 13 from Everton. Away against Watford is his last game. Watford have been really shocking. Flores is going to be leaving Watford at the end of the season, so maybe there won't be that intensity. And I'm looking at it, he can get forward as well. He got a goal and an assist in the double game week, so definitely potential to score loads of points there. Moving on to the midfielders, we're going to go on to Dimitri Payet. He comes in at a whopping £8.6 million, but he's had a decent few game weeks. 2 assists in the last game against Manchester United to held them back to a 3-2 win. Like I say, away against Stoke, they're not in the best of form. To be honest, I don't think Mark Hughes, will have much time at the start of the season. If they carry on playing poor, I think it could see the chop. They've had a very poor end to the season for me. They need to improve come next season, but Payet is definitely one for this game week. I've got him in my team, and I think you should too. Moving on from that, we've got a Manchester United player by the name of Juan Mata. He comes in as their highest scoring midfielder. In fact, their only midfielder above 100 points. He's had decent, last 2 games in Norwich and West Ham. 16 points in total for the double game week. And like I say, Bournemouth at home. Bournemouth like to concede goals. United are strong at home, even though not as strong as they once were under Sir Alex Ferguson. But Mata is definitely one to consider, providing he plays, that is, but even if he comes off the bench, Bournemouth are a really, really wobbly team at the back. And lastly, Manchester City, we're going for, all midfielders are going with teams that are, battling for the top 4, so West Ham, Man United and Man City. And we've got Kevin De Bruyne. Who else? The top scoring midfielder for City this season. Missed Stoke game and Southampton game because of a Champions League, I believe it was. Did a decent job in Arsenal, and they've got Swansea away. Swansea, could overturn them. They've been in good form, but I feel like Kevin De Bruyne has got the skill, definitely, to rip open their defence single-handedly. And lastly, we've got the strikers, starting off with Sunderland's main man, Jermaine Defoe. Now, people are saying he could be rested. I don't see the point in that. They've got one last game. He is also looking for maybe a cheeky slot in the England team, and the fact that Welbeck is injured could be his opportunity to get in there for Euro 2016. He's been in fantastic form in the second half of the season, at least in the last few games. In the last 5 games itself, he's picked up 3 goals and 1 assist, and he's averaging points totals of 6 and above in each of his last game weeks. So Jermaine Defoe coming in away against Watford, definitely worth a bet. And then moving on from that, we've got Andy Carroll of West Ham. Now again, this could be seen as a bit of a risk. Same with Defoe, could be rested, but he's going to be wanting to get in there so he can get into the England team. Like I say, Welbeck is injured, and there could be another slot for a England striker, and even so, just battling to make sure he gets that first spot on the reserve list. He could easily get into that. Away against Stoke, very physical side, so Carroll could be having a tough match there, but he's a very physical player and he could easily do damage. And finally, we've got a Manchester United striker. Well, I could say striker. He's a striker on the game, but he plays in the wings, and that's Anthony Martial, who missed the first game against Norwich, but pulled it back against West Ham, even though they lost that game. And in recent games, he's been doing really well as well, as you can see, scoring decent points against Leicester and also West Ham United. Bournemouth at home. And like I say, I've had a Manchester United player in pretty much every part, and that's because I feel like they could walk that game easily. With that being said, guys, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for making this season amazing. Hopefully you have all enjoyed it, and hopefully I've got better as the season has gone on. Next season will be a complete change. There'll be revamps to my channel, there'll be revamps to the series, better video quality, better editing, better everything. Do not promise me on that, but hopefully I can pull through and bring it all to you for next season. But thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you have a fantastic last game week, and hopefully you've all stayed until the end, because I have, and it's been a struggle at times, but I definitely have enjoyed it, and I will be back next season, no doubt about that. Thank you guys for watching though. Hopefully you have enjoyed. Remember to like, comment and subscribe. Spread love and not hate, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.